Hey y'all, Dan with the Southern Paddler Channel. I'm back on Cotaco Creek, but I'm in a spot I haven't been to before. I've eyeballed it one time, and I like the way it looks right now, so I think I'm gonna have a good camp. The goal is for 2 nights to camp. We'll see how it goes. Today's a short day. I've only paddled a few minutes. I didn't leave till 3, so it's gonna get dark quick. The question will be, and the lows are going to be 31 next couple of nights. So if I stay comfortable and find stuff to do during the day tomorrow, I'll hang out and maybe camp another night. If not, I'll just camp overnight and then head back tomorrow afternoon. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm at my camp for the night. Check it out. Nice wide open place, lots of firewood there. Got my boat already pulled up out of the water. So I am back on Cotaco Creek. I'm going to get camp set up before I run out of light, and I will check back for you in a little bit. Little pileated woodpecker wants to get on the video. He's right up there. It's hard to point when I can't really see the screen that good. Anyway, I'm gonna get set up camp. Hammock is set up. Take a little look inside. Got my under quilt, top quilt, armrest pad, sleeping bag, and pillow. Ground sheet down. This ground is real soft. It's kind of loamy, a lot of just deteriorated leaves, and I think I'm in the summertime. This is probably an island. I see a little backwater area right over there. I don't know if you can just barely see it right in there, but it holds water in the summertime when the levels are up. But it's pretty soft now, so I hope the stakes hold. I have some, I guess you call them sand stakes, heavier duty stakes that'll work in softer stuff, but didn't bring them. Anyway, there's a lot of firewood, some pretty decent looking stuff right there. Anyway, I'm going to gather up some firewood, and then I'll have some supper after that. I'm not doing any cooking on this trip, since I was kind of prepared for 2 days at least. I didn't want to bring a grill and cooler with food and stuff. I tried to just keep it down. I did bring 3 bundles of store-bought firewood. But yeah, I just keep the kind of food to a basic, just a Mountain House meals. So nothing really special there, minimal time, and even more important, minimal space loading up. But I'm going to get some firewood gathered up in addition to what I brought. I'd like to have both. And once I do that, it'll probably be dark, and I'll sit down and fix me a warm supper, a warm Mountain House meal. So I'll holler back at you after that. one other note, I've noticed from when I put my other videos together, it looks like when I set up camp, about half the time, more than half the time, it looks like there's a yard sale going on. That kind of looks bad in my videos, so I want to try to keep my stuff a little more together. I do bring a lot of stuff, I've admitted that before, but anyway, gonna try to keep it together so maybe it don't look like a yard sale going on here in the woods. So anyway, all right. Got the fire going good. Got hammock set up. I showed you that. Got my chair and table set up. So I've gathered up some firewood. Plenty of firewood here. That's a good thing. And so I'm just sitting here enjoying this fire. It hadn't been going long, so I'm going to make sure it's going good. Once I feel good about it, then I will start on some supper. I think it's going to be it's a Mountain House meal that Mike, the stranger, gave me on our last trip. He gifted me a supper and some scrambled eggs from Mountain House and this chicken fajita bowl or something like that. It's anyway, it sounds really good, so I'm anxious to try it. I want to get that going here in a minute, but I want to make sure the fire's going good first, so I will let you know once I get supper underway. Got my water warming up. Chicken fajita bowl. It's what's for dinner. Anyway, I'm going to let this water get boiling, get my supper started. The chicken fajita bowl is pretty good. Whew. So I'm enjoying this nice hot chicken fajita bowl given to me by Mike the Stranger. It is 5:30 maybe. I got my fire going there, and so I'm just sitting here enjoying this hot meal and going to let this settle in and warm me up from the inside out. Let the fire take care of the outside. And enjoy some peace and quiet, and I will check back in a little bit. It's about 7 o'clock. I've had a good supper. Really enjoyed the chicken fajita bowl Mountain House meal. Thank you, Mike, for that. I'm sitting here by the fire and I'm enjoying my Carhartt toboggan. A wonderful Christmas gift from my sis. Thank you, sis. Love you. Great gift. I'm enjoying it. Oh, it's so warm. And that fire is warm. So I'm just going to sit here probably, unless like Sasquatch runs through the camp. False alarm. Probably be my last little talk to the camera. So I'm just going to enjoy this fire. Oh, and I was going to say it's about 42, 41 degrees. They're calling for 31 tonight. So it's going to be a little chilly. I've got pretty much every piece of gear that I've got to stay warm. Well, with the exception of, what do they call those things? A sleeping bag liner. I got one of those, I think it's a Sea to Summit reactor. I've tried it once or twice. I'm just not comfortable in that thing. It just, I don't know. Maybe it adds some warmth, but I mean, I've tried it like on a 19-degree night. So I've camped in colder weather than 31 degrees, but this will be the, I think the last trip I was on, it was supposed to be about that temperature, but it didn't get to it. But calling for 31 tonight and tomorrow night. So if I stay 2 nights, whew. So how I feel tonight and when I wake up tomorrow will probably go a long way in determining if there's a second night on this trip. Again, I've camped in colder weather, but you know, you got to get acclimated to it. I mean, this is Alabama. You know, you're not used to cold weather, and after a long, unusually warm fall, It's particularly hard to kind of get acclimated back to the cooler weather. So anyway, we'll see how that all works out. But it's cooling off, but I'm warm right now. Got several layers. The fire's good. Had a nice hot meal, so I'm as good as I could be. We'll just see how the night goes, and I will let you know how that turns out in the morning. The beavers are back. Meant to show you all this earlier before it got dark. I saw this tree setting up. I'm like, the beavers will be here. And they are. Good morning. It's a little after 7. Got my fire started and it's feeling good. I don't think it got as low as what they were calling for last night. It's happened on the last couple trips. Best I can tell, maybe 38, 37. So it's kind of a weird night last night. So I turn in, go right to sleep, sleeping good. Wake up, have to pee. But when I woke up, I thought, man, it's got to be like 3, 4 in the morning. I felt like I'd just been sleeping hard for so long. And looked at my clock on my phone, and I'd been asleep an hour. Good grief. So I get up, take care of that, lay back down, and then all of a sudden, I'm just like starving. I didn't have a lot to eat yesterday, and my supper was just that fajita bowl, which is good, but I guess I just, but that was like, at that point, it was probably 5 or 6 hours earlier, so I was hungry. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to go to sleep. So I get up, get something to eat, and I'm like, you know what? And then I was kind of awake, so I stoked the fire back up. So I'm sitting here by the fire, and I eat a little snack, and then all of a sudden, I hear something, and I'm kind of listening. And I look and I don't see anything, and then I start hearing it more. I'm like, that's kind of like rain, but it's not really rain. So I think I tried to get some video of it, but with my flashlight just shining up in the air, but it was like sleet. I think it was sleeting with a little bit of sprinkles mixed in there. It wasn't heavy, but it was just, you could just hear just a little ice pellets falling here and there. So I look at my radar, and sure enough, there was a pretty wide area, not heavy, but a wide area of mixture of rain and sleet. So I put everything under my tent, and I really didn't expect any rain last night. I think the forecast was maybe 10%. And I had my chair and table under there, but I thought, with knowing that was that close, I put my firewood and everything I could under my rain fly. So I did all that, and then got back in the hammock, and so finally went back to sleep. But I slept good, stayed warm, except for when I woke up about 7. Apparently my foot had come out of the foot box on my sleeping bag. Oh, that was another thing. So I got in my sleeping bag all the way, laid down in my hammock the first time. But after the second time I got up after eating and being around the fire, I was warm. And when it started kind of sleeting and sprinkling, I kind of hurried into the hammock. So after I got everything under there and got in the hammock, I was hot. so I didn't get in my sleeping bag. I just used it as a blanket. But it's got a little foot box, and I had my feet in there, and and I slept good that way, except for when I woke up. Apparently my foot had come out of the foot box, and now my left foot's a little bit numb. It's cold, but this fire is going to take care of that real quick. So anyway, I'm going to keep this fire going, and then make me some coffee and some breakfast. So I'll check back in. So, had this piece of wood on the fire. Looked like just a regular piece of driftwood, but when I put it on there, it started smoking black. Got a little whiff of creosote or something, so apparently it was some kind of treated wood, but it sure didn't look like it. But anyway, when it died down a little bit, I got tired of smelling it, so I picked it up, threw it in the water while it's still burning. Flames went out, man, it's smoking like crazy, but now, there it is. It was still smoking a lot, and I was worried about it, so I thought I'm going to come over here and make sure it's all the way under and out. There. I turned it over, so it wasn't even smoking when I got to it, but it was smoking the whole time I could see it. So I think it's out and it's safe now. Didn't want it smoking down the creek. We'll douse it, duck it again. Hold that rough right there. Thing was burning hot, making a bunch of black smoke, stinking. Apparently it was treated, but I just hated to, like I said, it was already out by the time that I got to it, which was just a few minutes after I threw it in, but still, I would have not been comfortable if the last thing I saw was that thing smoking going out of sight. So it's taken care of. It's about 40 degrees, I think. I took off my hoodie. It's a cotton hoodie. I bring it to wear at camp because it's thick and it's really warm, but I really don't want to be on the water in that thing. So I took it off and put on my PFD, grabbed my paddles, and hit the water. But now, this is basically camp right here. You can probably see my chairs and stuff. I got to paddle around this bend a little bit. This bank right here, right there, is a little steep. Drops off pretty quick. Going around this bend, it's a little more gradual, and it goes into the water, and I got a place to step when I get out. So, and as you noticed, or if you did notice, you saw my pole there, that end of the boat. I am in the front facing backwards. When I don't have any gear, it just it does better that way. Probably would have been all right the other way, but It's about 9:45. Had my breakfast, had the breakfast skillet, peak refuel, really good. And that's a lot of food. I ate probably about 95% of it. Last couple of bites I threw in the river for the turtles. So yep, now I'm just sitting here. Fire's just kind of smoldering, but it's got some good heat, good coals. I'll feed it every now and then. And there's my camp over there. I'm leaving it set up because I'm still thinking about doing a second night, but you know, chances of rain go up throughout the day. I don't think it ever gets higher than 50%, but it stays at 50% like all afternoon and into the evening. So I have so what I need to do this morning is get some more firewood, and there's a lot around. I just got to gather it up and bring it over, get some more firewood, keep the fire going. And I do have an extra rain fly. It's my original rain fly, which is a Rainfly Evolution, I think. I got off Amazon, but I'm gonna set it up somewhere just to have a place to hang out in case it does kind of start raining or sprinkling. So for now, I'm just going to chill and enjoy this smoke. It's overcast here, solid overcast, has been most of the day. It got light a few times. I've got my solar panel out. Let me show you that. Matter of fact, I was going to talk about that. So here is my solar panel. Let's see. Oh, everything's red, so they're still charging. But I've got my solar panel. But even though it's overcast, that panel is actually charging 2 GoPro batteries. I've got this battery bank I'm charging. Oh, looks like these are done. I'll unplug those. Those are batteries that I use in my headlamp. I've already actually got, this takes 3. I have another one just like it, but it has 4 batteries. Black diamond, great headlamps. So I got 2 battery banks, that one and that one. This one's charging the phone, that one was doing the batteries. And these also both have, as you can tell, solar panels, so they're kind of recharging themselves. That one's these need more light, so they're just barely probably charging, if at all, and it takes a while for them to charge through the solar panel. But you know, every little bit helps. But that solar panel on the ground over there, that's 60 watts. I don't know if it's doing 60 watts today, but it's doing enough to charge those GoPro batteries. If it doesn't produce enough enough wattage to charge something, it has a little LED indicator on there. It'll flash, and so, but it hadn't done that today, so it's it's charging anyway. But it's all good. So here's another thing about camping and being outdoors. Every trip I cut myself. I don't know what it is. I never know how I do it. That scrape right there on my thumb, I did that this trip. That spot on my wrist, that was last week on my last trip. It's just every time I'm going to end up scraping something and bleeding. Here's another thing. See that spot right there? That's a split. Man, my hands are super dry. You can see maybe you can see the little white part in the folds of my knuckles and fingers and stuff. But yeah, that I'll get them all over my hands, especially in cold weather. Not so much in hot weather. It's a cold weather thing. So like if I'm doing a multi-day trip, for sure I'll have hand lotion and I'll put it on morning and night. I just didn't think to bring any on this trip. Probably should have, because I know in cold weather my fingertips are going to split, and man, that can be incredibly painful. I remember some of my multi-day trips, like the Current River back in earlier this year, 5-day trip, Buffalo River last year, 8-day trip. I'd have splits on several fingers. It hurt so bad I couldn't hardly even zip anything up. It's right on the fingertips, around the fingernails, and it hurts to grab anything, and whew, it's rough. So yeah, and I think I had lotion on those, but it happens anyway. I don't know, if you have it, you can relate. If you don't, be thankful. We're going to go on a little walk around the campsite here. You see the creek there, it kind of curves around right here. And so all this area right here is basically like a little island. Although it floods frequently, because look at all that driftwood there. All that wood floats up in here and gets caught in these trees and stuff. But I call it an island because when we get over here to the other side, you'll see where there's typically water. So we're right here. So this area right here, all this you can tell holds water. There's a pool right there, but you can see it kind of goes back in there. So maybe not an island per se, but just like a peninsula, at least in the summertime when the levels are up. So where I'm standing now, all this would be underwater in the summer. Not much water, but it'd be underwater. And of course you can tell anywhere that it's clear like this, not only can you see the depression where it's lower, but when there's clear and there's nothing growing in it, you know that it holds water. So of course I also know that because I've been in here in the summertime. Anyway, I got me another stick to that pile. Also cut some more wood after I think I showed a little clip of me cutting some wood, but I added a fair amount more to it. That's off of this big sycamore that fell right there. So I cut several pieces of that off and cut several of them down to size. These are a little bigger, but I'll be able to work them on the fire and burn them down to size anyway. But yeah, just added another little piece. So yeah, I'm going to stay another night. And I checked the radar. This whatever's falling right now is not even showing up on the radar. It's so light. So the good is that it's light and there's not much to it because it's not even on the radar. The bad though is that if it's sprinkling and it's not showing up now, that means it could do this for the rest of the evening. And so, but again, it's 3. It's going to be dark in probably 2 hours. So if worst comes to worst, I can make my supper under my little hammock rain fly. I have done that before, but for now I'm just going to wait it out. I think it'll be all right, and just enjoy a little more daylight before it gets dark. I know the purpose of getting out here is disconnecting, quiet, all that stuff, but it's still good to be in contact with loved ones. So when you lose signal, you put your phone up in the tree. Hope that it regains the 1 bar that you had earlier, and it did. It actually, I had it up there a while because it failed to send a couple of there it goes. It failed to send a couple of messages earlier because I'd lost all signal and made that sound. That's the text message coming in. So whatever I sent has gone through. Technology is good, nature's great, solitude's great, but it's always good to be in contact with your friends and family. Okay, I got supper underway. boiling my water, getting ready for my chicken teriyaki. I think I've had that before. It's pretty good. So anyway, it's a little after 4. It's been kind of sprinkling almost the whole afternoon, but it's been so light. It's not, I hadn't had to cover anything up and hadn't had to, go under my tarp. But I just checked the radar. There's some more coming, and around 5 is the highest chance. So I thought I'd go ahead and get supper started and go ahead and eat and get that done. That way, if I do have to retreat to my hammock and rain fly over there, I can do that on a full stomach. I never did set up my extra rain fly because, again, the rain wasn't enough to really warrant that. So I'm going to, the water's getting close to boiling. I'll make my supper and enjoy that. And it's getting pretty close to dark. So if it starts to rain, I'll go in my hammock. If not, I'll just sit here and enjoy the fire a little longer. That's the plan. It's supper time. Mountain House meal, chicken teriyaki. That's pretty good. Tell you this, their biscuits and gravy. Oh, the chicken fajita bowl that Mike gave me. Man, those are all good. I want to say there's another one that's pretty good. Their breakfast skillet is pretty good. I think Peak Refuels is a little better. But yeah, they definitely got some, Mountain House has some good meals. And good relative to being on the water now for a second day, and just having to have a quick, easy meal that's hot when it's 40 or below. Yep, this is the spot. So I'm going to enjoy this meal with the last little light of the day, and it's about to be dark. And then I'll just sit here and let supper settle and enjoy this fire. All right, it's about 7:30. The rain has been real light, just sprinkling really for most of the evening. Started before sundown, but it's picking up a little bit. I've checked the radar best I can. It's only have one bar. Sometimes it doesn't pull up, but the last time I did check, I saw a pretty big patch of green, a little bit of blue, which means there's some possibly some frozen precip in there. So gonna have a little light rain, maybe some sleet, or possibly a few flurries. But anyway, I'm snug in my hammock, and I've already dozed off in my chair around the campfire, so I'm sure I'll sleep real good tonight. So I'm settled in here and just gonna listen to this rain and drift off to dream. See y'all in the morning. morning. It's about 7 o'clock. Got my fire going good, thanks to the store-bought stuff. Got a little bit of rain last night, and it's not soaked, but everything's damp and wet, and even the little sticks and stuff just aren't going like they were yesterday. But I've got 2 bundles of firewood, store-bought firewood, and so with the little starter log and stuff, I got it going pretty easy, and that store-bought stuff's that's what's making it go now. So I'll be fine. Like I said, I've got 2 whole bundles there, and I'm gonna burn both of them. Anyway, but it feels good right now. It's about 38. It got down to I think 36 last night, but I noticed something. The night before I think it was like 39 or 38. And it never really felt that cold. And I remember going to bed and I was sweating from scurrying around and doing stuff, and just fanning my shirt, trying to cool off, and pulling my hoodie up, trying to vent some heat. Last night, even though it was like only 2 degrees cooler, it was cold. And it was because of the rain and the moisture in the air. That, a damp, 38 and a dry 38, there's a big difference there. I stayed warm in my hammock. But when I got in, I wasn't sweating like I was the night before, and of course my sleeping bag and blanket, everything was cold, but it warmed up quick. But once I got in there and got settled in, it felt good, and I stayed comfortable all night long. So, but man, this fire feels good. So I'm going to start me some coffee and some breakfast, and I'll update you after that. Got my boiling water added to my adventure meal biscuits and gravy. Love those biscuits and gravy. Got my first cup of coffee made. It's good. Got my fire just right to sit by. Yeah, it's already I'm warmed up enough to where I can take off my toboggan and my hoodie. About to enjoy me some hot biscuits and gravy and get some more of this coffee. So it's a beautiful morning, and I'm just going to sit here and enjoy it. And that's been good, just to sit here and enjoy the peace, the solitude, to soak it in. Spend a lot of time praying and just, trying to get my mind right, get ready for 2024. And speaking of, I hope all of you have a fantastic 2024 coming up. It's Saturday, the 29th, maybe? No, 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st, and then, so it's December 30th. And we're about to be in the new year. I hope you all have a fantastic new year. It's, 2023 for me was great in a lot of ways. It had some challenges, like all of you. I know there's ups and downs, there's good and bad, but overall it's good. And I'm just hopeful for a great 2024 for me and for all of you. And again, getting out here, that's part of what helps me maintain balance, lets me recalibrate, focus. It's a wonderful thing for me. It's not for everybody. If you're watching this, it probably is for you to some degree, so I encourage you to get out and do that more. But people can find peace and solitude in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be outdoors, but there is a lot of benefits to being outdoors, and certainly I enjoy it. I know most of you do too that are watching this. So again, just the happiest wishes and hoping and praying for a blessed 2024 for all of you. And this will probably be my last video recorded in 2023. And so, although it'll be 2024 before it comes out, it'll be, later in the week. But it's been a great year. Thank you all for your comments, for likes, and just for following along. I'm not striving for a certain number of likes or view time or trying to get famous or trying to make money with it. I love doing this, and I also enjoy making videos of doing this, so I want to keep doing that. And I don't really like to think about subscribers. I like to think about friends. I don't really like to talk about collabs. I like to talk about doing trips with friends, and so that's the way I see all of this. So for all of my friends out there that watch and comment, and when you do I do appreciate that very much in the views. But it's more about just really being out here and enjoying it, sharing it with you. And if you enjoy it along with me, that makes it even better. So that's the whole point of all this. Hope you have enjoyed my adventures from 2023 and before. And let's hope and pray that God blesses us with many, many more in the next year and the years to come. See y'all on the next one.